There's trouble in Russia. So they called us. And we're going over there and bringing the most lethal killing machine ever devised. We're capable of launching more firepower than has ever been released in the history of war. For one purpose alone: keep our country safe. We constitute the front line and the last line of defense. I expect and demand your very best. Anything less, you should have joined the Air Force.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, and welcome, people, to episode 107 of Dude and the Monkey. I am one of your hosts, Mark Foster, and as ever, I'm joined by my wonderful co-host,
Ian Norring. Hi, guys.
Hello. This is an episode which is going to cover over 2 weeks. No real reason other than we couldn't coordinate times quite well, and to be honest, there's fuck all out this week, is there? Really?
Yeah. No. I mean, what? Child 44 would be the closest to us, and
yeah.
I can't say I'm super thrilled about that. So,
Child 44 has, without doubt, got Wednesday Night Watch at home written
for sure.
all over it. Yeah, there's not a lot out, and then obviously next week is Avengers next week.
Yep.
Which I have a feeling we might end up having a guest for.
Oh God, yeah, probably.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if Noel doesn't want to join us for the Age of Ultron chat. So this week we are going to bring you. It's going to be a slightly longer show, recording it over 2 different things. So we're going to give you a Lost River review in a minute, and then we're also going to give you the Police Academy 3 review, and then we'll give you some like a bumper what we've been watching. I've got quite a bit that I've watched, to be honest, to go over, and we'll be recording it in a couple of days' time, that section, so I'll have more to add to that. And then we're also going to give you another Police Academy with Police Academy 4, which I think is Police Academy 4 Citizens on Patrol? Police Academy 3 is back in training. I think Police Academy 4 is Citizens on Patrol,
right.
yeah.
You are right, sir.
Yeah, see, I know my police academies. So it's going to be a big bumper show. So we should be able to bring you hopefully lots of entertainment. We'll also throw in some trailers, probably some tangents at some point, and if we get any some questions as well. Ian, anything else to add to that? Has there been anything happened really? I don't think there has there really? No. A lot of people got pissy about the fact that the Wonder Woman director is no longer going to be directing Wonder Woman.
And everybody immediately thought it was because Hollywood hate women.
And
it just... Nobody knows why. Apparently Warner's may have wanted her to have a tiger sidekick or something, and Michelle McLaren was just like, no, which is fair enough.
It's not. If any film, the minute you mention tiger sidekick, it just gets better.
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially Beastmaster. Didn't he have a fucking animal sidekick?
Yeah, just right now, if you're listening, think of any film, right? Think of any film you can think of, and you tell me that if the main character in that film didn't have a tiger sidekick, it wouldn't make it instantly better.
It's a fair point.
It is. So I'm in agreement on Warner on this. I would literally, if I was Warner now, every film that was getting pitched to me, I'd just go, have you thought about a tiger sidekick?
Tiger sidekick.
Yes. Could have a whole new genre here. A whole new sub-genre.
Tiger sidekick, please. Tiger sidekick. Tiger sidekick. Tiger sidekick.
And that should be the only words for the rest of the show.
Tiger sidekick.
Just 2 hours of tiger sidekick.
Tiger sidekick.
Yes, so... fuck it now. Do you reckon that's why she quit? Creative differences. It's stopping having any meaning now.
Tiger sidekick. It has all the meaning.
We're going to play you a trailer now for the long-awaited tiger sidekick. The long-awaited Lost River, the Ryan Gosling written and directed film, which stars some people that I'll go over in a second. So here is a trailer for Lost River.
Tiger sidekick.
Are you waiting for somebody?
I'm alone.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You all right at home?
No, I'm all right. I'm pretty close to here, so...
Okay. I'd take a piss anyway. I'm going in.
Wait. Actually, yeah, I'll take that ride. It's dark.
Yeah. You gotta be safe, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Lost River, written and directed and produced by Ryan Gosling. Everyone loves the baby goose. Stars Christina Hendricks. You motherfucker. You ruined it for me. Ian DeCaster, Stecker, Saoirse Ronan, Matt Smith, Eva Mendes, Ben Mendelsohn, and some other people. Story is single mother needs to make payments on her house to keep it. One of their son's bones is a copper salvager who ends up pissing off Matt Smith.
That sounds like a bit of Cockney slang, that does. What copper salvager, that one.
It does a little bit, actually, yeah.
It's a fucking right copper salvager.
What does that mean, then? What do you think copper salvager might mean?
Oh, I'm a fucking copper salvager.
So, Ian.
Yeah.
Lost River. It's been It's been long awaited. It got a very, I suppose would you say majoritively negative response at Cannes last year?
Yeah, I mean, it was the big fucking let's topple the mighty person one, where, like, Ryan Gosling himself says there weren't any boos, but it kind of seems like there were boos. And, I mean, it was really disastrous at Cannes.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, a film getting booed at Cannes isn't really that, rare, to be honest. You can go over quite a lot of films that are actually really, really well respected and well loved critically and sometimes commercially that have got booed at Cannes. It's kind of, it does seem to be a little bit of a tradition almost to have a film that Cannes doesn't like every year.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
Sorry, I was going to say, what were your feelings behind the film?
Yeah, so I was still looking forward to it just because I really like the look of it. I thought that the kind of the marketing that came out. I remember there was a clip that came out, I think around the time it premiered at Cannes, where it was Matt Smith going, "Look at my muscles, look at my muscles," and that image of the flaming bike, and I was just like, "Yep, I'm all over this. I want this now." So, when the bad reviews came out, I was just kind of thinking, well, it's Cannes. Bad reviews happen at Cannes all the fucking time. No one really ever pays attention to the bad reviews that come out of Cannes, unless sometimes it's warranted, like Grace of Monaco. Which, by the way, did you hear Grace of Monaco is now a Lifetime film in the US?
Yeah, I did.
That shit's crazy.
That's mad. I mean, it's not like it's a small film, Grace of Monaco. It's got big stars, a director with a certain, not a great deal, but a certain amount of sort of cachet there. It does seem strange that it's gone to fucking Lifetime. It's very strange.
Yeah, so it's just with Cannes, you can never tell. So I was still ready for it. So the film comes along, and I showed the trailer to Donna, and she was like, "Yeah, I'll watch that." So cool, And the thing is, that I really quite enjoyed watching it. The experience of actually watching the film I thought was good, but there's not a lot actually to it when you borrow under the interesting visuals. It's a lot of it's a lot of stuff that just let me rephrase. Sorry. The visuals are great, but there's just not really any meat on the bone. I mean, the story itself is really quite straightforward. It's just the affectations around it. But I liked those affectations. I would say at 95 minutes it feels stretched. If it was 80 minutes, I'd be very, very, very happy with it, I think. But as is, not so much.
Yeah, I can certainly see what you mean. The actual, the crux of the story and the actual main sort of story that is there. I am quite puzzled by the fact that some people seem to say, well, there isn't any story. There clearly is quite a clear story there.
It's quite a simple story.
And it is an incredibly simple story, yeah, absolutely. And if you take away all of the visuals and everything like that, then you have a very basic story told out in very basic set tones. But it is a very visual film. It is a film where, and if you look at the sort of the people that it would appear that Gosling is influenced by and he's taking sort of aim from, it's very clear that he has a lot of that this is strongly influenced by his work with Nicholas Winding Refn, and also as well, the fact that he's gone out and he's got Benoit Devy to be the DOP. You can see certain kind of he is going for a look that is in the Gaspar Noé movies. Certainly there, with certain characters and certain sort of stylings and an approach to the sexual kind of undertones of the movie. That definitely feels that. Whether or not, there's a possibility that is as much coming from Debbie's style of the way he shoots films as much as it could be coming from Gosling and the way that he's asked him to shoot things. I'm not entirely sure.
That's interesting. Like, you think maybe he just kind of did his own thing?
Not as much did his own thing, but that I'm picking up those stylings because it's a very specific way, a very specific sort of styling that he has, and that Gosling has picked people that he knows are quite strong at what they do. And you know, you got to remember with Gosling, it's his first directorial movie, and you know, it would be wholly kind of acceptable for him to kind of take from the people that he's working with of, I'd kind of like it to look like this and like this and like this, and them to take forward and go, all right, well, how about this? Yes, that's exactly what I want to look at, and it'd be slightly more collaborative than maybe certain directors going, right, I need it to look like this, or what like this, no, like this, okay, there we go. And, you know, you get the feeling with Noah that some of his, to an extent, is kind of collaborative. I'd like to try doing like this, yeah, go, show me it, yeah, brilliant, love it. It could be that kind of thing.
That's it, yeah, no, I mean, that's interesting. I mean, the thing is, I think he had a very clear vision in his head of what he wanted to do, but the thing is, the clear vision was basically, I'm going to cherry pick from a kind of multiple sources. You know, yeah. I mean, you know, obviously you got Lynch, you got Refn. I think there's a fair bit of kind of like Italian horror from.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's some Barber and some Argento going on, and you know the image of Christina Hendricks slicing up her face and kind of peeling that off. I mean, Christ, I mean, it's almost like Hellraiser or something, or like, I don't know, Event Horizon or something. You know,
yeah.
So, I mean that's the thing. I mean. The thing is, I mean, it's essentially, I mean, I don't know if this sounds wanky, and it probably does, but it's almost like it's a collage of sources.
No, I'd say that's exactly what it kind of could be. It's very much somebody who, it seems like because he's had an idea for how he wants a film to look, and he's also an idea of a story that he wants to tell. But he certainly is more concerned with a visual styling of it, which you know it is acting work. He often works with quite visually set out auteurs, I suppose, from that. And like you said, there's definitely, you know, in terms of even with the score and things like that, there's certainly Italian sort of horror and giallo that sort of bits picked out there. I mean, the entranceway to the club and the club itself is very kind of Lynch kind of thrown into that kind of giallo-esque Argento Barber world.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, it's the thing is, I mean, it basically feels like it's his first film. He just wants to get all his influences out there. But because he's Ryan Gosling, he actually was afforded more luxuries than I think other people would otherwise have. I mean, I know Warner Brothers picked this up before it even played at Cannes, and I wonder if they almost picked it up sight unseen because they were just like, we can market it as the directorial debut of Ryan Gosling. That's going to get us so far. But then when they actually got the film, it was like, oh, fuck.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you think about it, the amount of publicity that this film has got, you know, even in terms of the release and the fact that it played Cannes and all of the, you know, Gosling's been on, you know, there was quite a lot of press coverage in the UK for it, and a lot of people start talking about it. And yes, there isn't fucking it on buses and shit like that, but when you compare that to something like Don John, for instance, which was Joseph Gordon-Levitt's debut film, which, you know, you could quite conceivably say is a more approachable film for the, a more mass market appeal, and it had Scarlett Johansson within there as well, and he was starring in it himself, and it was certainly a more linear story, or a more linear told story, I suppose would be a better way to say it, than Lost River. Lost River's, it's been made a lot more available, or a lot more. It's been spoken about a lot more, yet they are two kind of, you'd say they're about level in terms of exposure and everything like that, but it just seems like you say, Warner have gone, we can market this as the Ryan Gosling film and people will go because of that, even if he's not fucking in it. He's an interesting character in the film world.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, I think that says the kind of the power that he obviously had with this, where I bet there was a lot of pressure on him to take the Ian DeCastigo role or the Matt Smith role, and he didn't do it. And instead, he's cast. It's an interesting cast. I mean, there's a lot of names, but they're not massive names. And obviously, you've got a combination of people who've worked with him in the past, like Hendricks and Mendelsohn. But I mean, you've got. It's Saoirse Ronan, who's pretty good in the role. I mean, it's a fairly thankless role. But, I mean, Ian DeCastiga is alright. I think Matt Smith's really interesting, just because he's visually, he doesn't fit that character at all, if you think of what Matt Smith is. And even away from Doctor Who, you just look at him, he's quite scrawny, and he's got a kind of an angular kind of face. And he doesn't feel like he would be one to terrorise.
But he's. I mean, the scene at the gas station. There's a real kind of presence that he's got, and he is quite intimidating and unsettling. With the way he's kind of talking, and the way, when he's in the car, and that is one thing that we have to say. There are some absolutely lovely shots in this movie. The shot of them in the car, and she's sat on that fucking almost Carpenter-esque Escape from New York, sat on the back of the chair, and he's just sort of stood out with his arms across the windscreen, just facing it, not saying anything, just looking at it. There's a lot of striking imagery in here, but there's also a lot of, ooh, that looks good, that looks nice imagery in here as well. It's not always just pretty for pretty's sake.
No, quite. I mean, it's genuinely interesting stuff here. I mean, you've got the couple of images that struck me were, there's one where Ian DeCastiga and Saoirse Ronan are watching TV, and it's a shot of his face, but it's almost like his eyes and his cheekbones are kind of like black, and then like the TV's kind of flashing, and it's just like flashing this black on his face, which I mean that's a great visual. But then also the grandma and the guy who's going to set fire to her, and she's just watching TV. Yeah. And it's kind of the slow motion. That guy, by the way, did he just not look like Matt Smith in makeup?
He did a little bit, yeah.
Like, we thought it was Matt Smith being a bit weird and playing a dual role, and then you look at the credits at the end, it's like, oh no, it's not.
No, he did have a look of that, though, yeah.
Very, very odd. Very odd. But, I mean, going back to the story again, I mean, what doesn't help is the fact that the IMDb synopsis for this is really, really weirdly wrong. Where it's like, his mother gets kind of trapped, and he has to travel to an underwater world to save her. And it's like, okay, he kind of goes into the river at one point, but
it's not really. Yeah, that conjures up a very different film.
Yeah, I mean, like, that almost kind of, like, conjures up a bit like Pan's Labyrinth going on or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, I think with, obviously Gosling's good friends with Del Toro, and I think there is a sense of the kind of the Del Toro, the kind of, like, the slightly mystical and surreal in the everyday. Pan's Labyrinth and Kronos, basically, I mean, it does. I can see where people say, and it feels like a 17-year-old film school student doing a project where that kind of comes from. But at the same time, The guy has worked on films for years, and he's obviously picked stuff up. He knows how to compose a shot, and he knows how to conjure up atmosphere.
Yeah, it's one of those films where I think it'd be very easy if you just didn't get along with it. To say, oh yeah, well, it's just this, and it's just this, and it's just this. Whereas if you did get along with it, you could say, well, it's interesting because of this, this, and this. And it can be exactly the same points, and exactly the same negatives, and exactly the same positives. And you do get the feeling like a few people have kind of used it as an excuse to kind of have a bit of a go at Ryan Gosling because for some reason decided, oh, well, you know, he was so hot right now a couple of years ago, it's time for a bit of a fall.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, look, you look at this compared to a film, which I must admit I haven't seen, but a film like The Water Diviner, you know, where it's Russell Crowe. It's basically, it feels like Russell Crowe the movie. It feels like that man just what everybody thinks Russell Crowe is like put up on screen.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Like it's just Russell Crowe's holiday.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. Whereas Lost River, you don't really get that sense from Ryan Gosling at all. But to be honest, I watch it and I just think, wow, he's very, very cine literate and he knows what he's doing. I would say he's a much better director than he is writer. But then again, some of the ideas he has with this are interesting. The shell thing that Christina Hendricks is kind of put into.
Yes.
That is a wonderfully creepy idea.
And as well, you know, the fact is...
Even though that does kind of, I will just say, that does kind of feel like something that Nicholas Winding Refn could have just chatted to him drunkenly about one night, and then Ryan Gosling wrote it down. But I like that he's put that in here.
And you know, as well... He's got very strong performances, right, out of very good actors.
Yeah,
that's fine. But, you know, Ben Mendelsohn clearly, you know, I mean, Ben Mendelsohn's a fucking great actor. Everything improves with Ben Mendelsohn. But he clearly has a very good sort of trust in him, and he clearly has, he's used the fact that he has quite good relationships with these people to say, you know, you're going to look in front of this and Christian Hendricks behind it, and then what I do, and then you dance. All right, cool, yeah. And it works.
Yeah.
It feels icky, and it feels not quite right, and a little bit unsettling. And it all feels. The thing is, it like you say, it does feel like a collection of bits, but those bits feel very well knitted together, and they feel suited to each other. It'd be okay to just essentially cherry pick influences and throw them at a screen. It's fine, but if those influences don't knit and they don't fit and they don't complement, then it's going to look like shit.
Yeah.
And you know, I've read a few reviews of it, and from certain people who are good when they're reviewing a movie they like, and when they're reviewing a movie they don't like, they just, I read it and go, oh, fuck off. And so you get a little bit like that. I found it to be one of those movies where no one's kind of gone, do you know what? It's decent. It's alright. It's a 7 out of 10. You either have people go, oh, it's brilliant, it's visually fantastic, or people going, oh, it's just crap. And it baffles me that people have to have this such, you know, either it's this or it's that. It can never be just, it's really fucking interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I really, really, want to give it a 4 out of 5. I really want to. And I think if I watch it again, I mean, the thing is, I've got a rule with Blu-rays where I only buy them if I think they're 4 out of 5s. But I want to buy this on Blu-ray.
I absolutely will be. It's a solid 4 out of 5 for me anyway. I really, really, really liked it.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I'm not quite there. I really, really wish I was.
Yeah, I'm absolutely there. I thought there was so much. And the other thing is, I really enjoyed watching it while I was watching it.
That's the thing. I had a good time watching it, but there was a stretch around, it's kind of around the Ben Mendelsohn singing bit, where, not necessarily that bit, but just around there, I was kind of falling out of it. Like, the first half hour, 40 minutes, I was in. And then I was in at the end, and then there's just, like, maybe a 20-minute stretch where...
Well, it could have been a bit tighter for you.
Yeah, like I say, if it was 80 minutes, I think I'd be all over it. But at 95 minutes, it feels ever so slightly stretched.
I can appreciate that, certainly, yeah.
And that on top of the fact that the story just, like, it doesn't really compare to the visuals. I can't quite do it, but I've got a feeling if I do watch it again and I'm more settling into it, I think I could bump it up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a definitely not shit, and I'm a definite. In its camp. I'm gonna say it's quite a lot of this podcast. I'm not gonna defend it to the fucking hill. If people don't like it, they don't fucking like it.
Yeah,
we go.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly think there's a difference between people not liking the film and just not even giving it a chance.
Yeah.
I can understand why people aren't in love with it, for sure.
Yeah, I can absolutely understand that. Yeah, there's just certain reviews I read of it just made me just go, in conjunction with reviews that I read for other films this week, that just made me go, ugh. Stop being such misers.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. I was willing myself to like it, and I think I genuinely do like it. I don't think it's just because I wanted to. There's more than enough interesting in here. It just, it's stuff like the grandma character. It was just, I'm not really too sure what the point of all that is, apart from the fact that it's quite an interesting visual of her just continually watching old videos. And I think that the point of that is maybe, look at how run down this place was and how life used to be so much better for everybody. And it just, I kind of get that point. It's a bit of a boring point. What else do you have?
It does seem, I would say that it seems like there was probably a lot more shot that didn't make the grade.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprising.
It wouldn't surprise me that in his mind that Gosling might have had a 2.5 hour, psychedelic epic in his mind. Yeah. And then when it's actually got to it, he's gone, no, what I've actually got is a 90-minute, art house movie. Yeah. Which is what it is.
Yeah.
And I like, when art house works, it works really well. And the thing is, art house isn't supposed to speak to everybody. It's supposed to speak to the people who it speaks to, who are watching it.
Sure. Yeah,
cool.
Fair enough.
In terms of talking about buying of Blu-rays, have you seen the confirmed artwork for the Whiplash Steelbook?
Yeah. Is it the kind of the symbol-y?
With the blood on it? Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Oh, it's nice. It's very nice.
How much is it?
£20.99.
I'm not paying that.
I am. I'm going to be honest. I am on that. But then again, I'm exclusively buying very certain Blu-rays. So yes.
Is it part of year 100? Is it?
It is. Yeah. It absolutely is. I've watched it a couple of times now, and it is an incredible movie.
Oh, I'll tell you what. While I'm not part of the 100, I am having such a fucking time trying to decide between digital and Blu-ray at the moment.
You flip-flopping again.
Oh, mate, I got the Apple TV, and I just like, I don't know, I like the usability and whatnot, but it's just like, not everything's available on it, you don't get nearly as many of the extras, some stuff's more expensive, but I know it's going to be nagging at me, and Blu-ray within a few years is going to be done.
Yeah, Blu-ray is going to be essentially, within the next 4 or 5 years, essentially it's going to be specialist stuff. It's going to be collectibles.
Yeah, and I don't think I can continue on for 4 or 5 years and then just think, shit, now I'm going to have to sell this lot, because that is what I do. So,
I'm going to start, because I've managed to whittle my stuff down to a strong 88, and now I need to start adding a few to it to get it up to the 100.
Nice.
But I have some in mind that I need to add to it anyway. So yes, Lost River, definitely not shit, I think, from both of us there, wasn't it? Yeah.
I tell you what, actually, if I buy it on iTunes, I don't necessarily have it's got to be a blah blah out of 10 to justify the purchase kind of rule on there. I can do what I want.
Yeah.
I'll buy it, the thing is, I'll buy it on iTunes when it's like $6.99. I'm not paying $13.99 for it.
I could see me end up paying $17.99 because there'll be a very pretty steelbook.
Yeah, there will be a steelbook.
Yeah, well,
it's going to be part of your 100. Is Lost River going to be part of your 100? And don't you dare say you're buying Blu-rays outside of the 100.
No, I'm absolutely not. Absolutely not. Well, yeah, that's the thing I've got to consider.
Like I don't think it would be in a 100 for you.
Yeah, that's the thing I have to consider there, is will it? But my 100 isn't, the way I'm approaching it isn't necessarily my top 100 films, is the way I'm approaching it. It's my 100 Blu-rays that I want to own. So if I look at the steelbook and go, that's alright.
So you're taking the actual cover art and stuff into account as well?
Fuck yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting.
So if I look at it and I go, that's alright, then it'll be, I probably won't bother. But if I look at it and go, holy Christ, that's beautiful. Occasionally, I want something that maybe the film inside I will watch, but I wouldn't say it would be in my top 100. But if I could just stare at the steelbook or the cover art for hours on end, then fuck it, it's in. And also, my First Blood poster has arrived.
Yeah, man. Have you put that up yet?
I've not put it up yet because the frame I want for it, the frames that I get that match my other frames, they haven't got that size in where I get them from, and they're not going back in till Tuesday. So I've got to wait till Tuesday to put it up. But honestly, I opened it and it's on really thick, like, paper. Because it's not just on, like, standard poster paper. It's on really thick, like, fabric paper. But I was fucking terrified to unravel it because I thought this poster was 75 quid. Yeah. You know, if it was a tenner and it was just a First Blood poster, and if I went to unroll it and it ripped and I went, shit, dickhead, I could just order it again, but I can't with this because it comes with like a little thing that says that my number is number 65 out of all 300. And I'm like, oh shit, I don't want to trust myself with this. So it'll be going up Tuesday, but I still haven't decided the order of what gets moved around or what's getting replaced or anything. So, albeit Dark Knight, Rocky, Grindhouse, what else is that? Blade Runner or Halloween has to get replaced or move from where it is, and I'm just not sure what's going fucking where. Yeah. It's a big decision.
Oh mate, I don't envy you.
Yeah, so I think Rocky may move out of the living room into the hallway, or Grindhouse might move into the hallway, and Dark Knight might move around, and I'm not sure. It's going to take a lot of thinking.
Yeah, bloody hell.
Right, so we're going to play a trailer from Police Academy 3, back in training, and then we shall delve into that world once again.
Police Academy 3.
Got it. The state says it can no longer afford 2 police academies.
We better call
Mahoney.
Your favorite graduates are back.
We're here!
Mahoney.
We're rubies!
What?
Hooks.
Don't move! Don't back!
Callahan. Hightower. Tackleberry.
Do you want to kill me?
Fackler. And Jones. Their assignment?
You're going to make one hell of a cop.
Thanks, Dad. Oh, would you give this to Mom for me?
Mold a brand new generation of recruits.
That doesn't hurt!
Into a fighting machine in a matter of weeks. Then, together, they're going to save their beloved academy the only way they know how. By chance. Police Academy 3, back in training.
You're sitting in a non-smoking area.
Put it up when I finished.
You'll put it out now, mister.
What they don't know can't stop them.
Okay, that was a trailer for Police Academy 3, Back in Training. This one's directed by Jerry Paris. It was the first one to not be a 15-rated movie, to be more of a family film. In this one, we see Lieutenant Mauser is back. He's running one of the other police academies, and essentially the city, the mayor, has decided that there is only room for one police academy in the city. So it's a straight-up fight between Lasard's police academy and Mauser's police academy. So what does Lasard do? That's it. He gets Mahoney and the gang to come and help him get his troops through and get his academy to be the one that stays. In his academy, we see Zed and Sweet Chuck and a few familiar faces arrive, and it is the usual kind of ragtag group of I'll start again. Hightower, Tackleberry, Lavelle Jones and Hooks, etc., who are all there to help Lasard keep his academy open. Ian, Police Academy 3, Back in Training. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, okay, so I think I preferred it over 2.
Yeah, I agree on there, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 2's okay, don't get me wrong, but, the thing is, this one, it's kind of cherry-picked elements from the first 2. And so, like, the blonde is back from the first one. What's her name?
Yes. What is her name? I can't remember her name.
Callahan?
That's it, Callahan, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, like, they bring her back, and they, and then they bring along Sweet Chuck, from part 2, and they team him up with Zed. And again, you've got some quality Zed just screaming at him, with his, when they first kind of like room in together, and Zed is just like lashing out at him, just like up against the windowsill. It's amazing. I mean, the thing is. Steve Guttenberg just doesn't really get anything to do. He's so bland. And I mean, again, he kind of like embarrasses Mauser, and he's got that kind of relationship with him. But it just, apart from that, he doesn't really do anything. He's just like the central presence that everybody gravitates towards. But he's everybody's friend. But aside from that, there's just nothing really to him. At least with the first film, he had his arc of not wanting to be in the police and like doing anything to try and get himself kicked out. Whereas in this one, in the second one, there's not really much. And like at the end, they're just like, I'll just give him a jet ski. Like, we just kind of run out of things to do now. And because the thing is, the Police Academy films, the first thing you think of them, to be fair, the first half dozen things you think of are probably not Steve Guttenberg.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the other characters are more interesting than him, but you have to have that almost kind of straight man presence, but then he's not a straight man. So again, that's a bit. I could see why after 4 he's gone, and to be honest, in an alternate universe, I could see the films being better without him, but they're probably not. Yeah, I like it. I mean,
you won't miss him, essentially.
No.
He's not, he's not a bad character. It's just, like you say, there's so little to his character. Yeah. He's just Mahoney.
Yeah, but I mean, Mauser is wonderful. And his sidekick, those 2 guys from the first one, and you get the Blue Oyster Club again, which is fantastic. Sorry,
but it's a little bit less. It's not quite as, I don't know. I want to say mean, but it's a little bit less. Ooh, you won't get away with that now.
Yeah. No, quite. Is this the last time the Blue Oyster Club shows up?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, really? It's back. It comes back again. Is it?
I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's in. I think it shows in a couple more.
Wow. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I'll be honest. I watched it last Thursday, so it's nearly a week ago now. So because I kind of for some reason I thought we were recording at the weekend, so I'm a little bit. I don't have much to say because I literally can't remember it now.
Like you said, there's not a lot. It does become a little bit almost more kind of slapstick, and it is like you were saying. I think about last week. It is very much like it's a selection of sketches.
Yeah.
All featuring the same characters. That kind of tells a story, and then it's like they've gone, we need to have a coherent scene, like a big kind of victory scene, and that's where you've got the jet ski bits at the end, despite the fact that it makes no sense whatsoever.
And that.
But it is kind of just essentially a load of slapsticks bit. But then again, I really enjoy Bobcat Goldthwait just screaming at somebody. He barely says anything in the movie, but he screams a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with part 2. I mean, like, in the climax, you kind of had him talking to Steve Guttenberg quite a lot. And kind of screaming as well. But whereas this, like you say, it is literally someone like calls for him, and he's just and that's pretty much all he does. But he's good doing it, and him and Sweet Chuck make a very fun team.
Yeah, it's just when you watch it, you're going, how did you get away with essentially just doing that? And it became a central character for the next movie.
Yeah.
It's insane the fact that all he does in number 3 really is scream at people. Yeah, I mean, that's it.
The people demand it. Yeah,
the thing is, I watched it going, but you know what? I can't wait to watch Police Academy 4 and watch him do it all over again.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm bang up for that. If he's in it more, that would be fantastic. I can't remember Police Academy 4. I have seen it, but I can't really remember it. So I'm very much looking forward to that. This one, it's good. It's fine. It's not amazing. It makes me laugh, and I have fuck all else to say about it, really.
Yeah, I'm pretty much there with that. Like I say, I think I watched it last... I think last on, when will it have been? It was the night we recorded the last show, so it's like over a week ago that I watched it. So there's not a lot that massively sticks out about it, other than the fact that it ticks along nicely. The jokes come quick enough to make it kind of worth it. There's a lot more nods to the first movie than there are in the second movie. Which is strange.
Yeah. Again, I mean, like I say, it's kind of like doing that cherry picking kind of thing. So I think there's an element of that in this for sure.
I like the way the fact that Mauser is making no attempts to hide the fact that he is literally just a kiss ass.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And then you got those two guys as well from the first one who kind of returned. They weren't in the second one, were they? They're the ones who kind of helped Mauser in this one.
Yeah. Yes, they were. Yeah, they're from the first one out. Yeah.
I don't know. It just kind of feels like they're finding their groove here, but it's basically a PG version of the first two combined.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see what the fourth one does, if it actually kind of breaks this cycle, because it feels like the structure is very, very similar in all of them. So,
yeah, we'll see on that later on in the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yes, indeed.
Yes, cool. Right, so we'll move on now to some, essentially, we're not just real 101 new, it'll be like what we've been watching over the past, couple of weeks, before we get into Police Academy 4. But we'll be travelling into the future to do that, we'll be recording that in a couple of days. Tiger Sidekick. Yes!
Are you tired of film podcasts where the hosts exist in a constant blissful state of agreement?
I mean, the main characters are two of the dullest main characters I've ever encountered in any film.
Well, you're in luck. Let me introduce you to Chinstroker and Punter. One is an ex-film student with a penchant for David Lynch and art cinema. The other is a man on the street. Listen in perplexed and horrified terror as We tear apart one film a week.
It just really
It's not visually striking.
No.
Just getting confirmation.
That's the third time though. I mean, is this on?
You can find us at csvsp.libsyn.com. So come and share the victory.
If you could fuck any man in film, who would it be and why?
My answer is Lance Henriksen.
Oh!
You wouldn't tell. He looks like somebody. He looks like somebody who can keep a secret.
Okay, so we're back again. We've gone into the future. Although it just seems like it's a few seconds ago, we're actually 3 or 4 days down the line, aren't we, Ian?
Indeed, yes. Our football teams both didn't have the best weekends, and we'll move on from there.
Yes, I was actually offered a ticket for today's game as well. My dad had a spare ticket and said, "Do you want to go?" And I was like, "Yeah." And you want to be nice, and I sort of said, looked at it and thought, it's like 150 quid in total, and then money while I'm there. So I can afford it, but I can't justify it because I'm pretty much convinced we're going to get beat. So I didn't go, which I'm quite glad about now, to be honest.
Yeah, there you are. I don't know, it was a weird game.
We're just not very good.
I don't know, it seems to be Gerrard's cursed.
I've never known a Liverpool team be as easy to play against than this Liverpool team. When they play really well, we can knock away anybody. But no matter what, we're really easy to play against.
Well, I mean, the thing is, last season, Liverpool scored a shitload, but they conceded plenty as well. But it was the fact that they scored a shitload.
Yeah.
That kind of almost masked it.
Yeah. And the thing is, last season, you had so many defences were just terrified of what Suarez was going to do to him that they were focusing so much on him that it allowed other people to do other things. Whereas this season, teams now have literally gone, go on then, have a go, because we don't think you've got out, and we don't. We're not very good. We're in a false position as well because we went on a big run where we didn't lose a game, but I watched every game in that and we only played well once or twice. The rest of it were flukes and games we won from worldies.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, United, I'm positive. I thought Van Gaal saying it was the best performance of the season. I thought it was a little much yesterday, but
yeah,
that was fucking dressing it up. But it just did well. They just didn't quite have that cutting edge. But I was convinced it was going to be 0-0 after the first half hour. But the man is what the man is. And he got that fucking goal and job done. Oh well, never mind.
Yeah.
But still, we'll get third, so it's all right.
Yeah, you will do. And yeah, I don't have a fucking clue what the fuck we're going to do. On to more joyous things. Ian, what trailers have you been watching these past couple of weeks? Because there's actually been quite a few out, hasn't there?
Yeah, I'll very, very quickly mention the new trailer from the guy who directed Gamora, called The Tale of Tales, which looks mental. There's not really too much to the trailer, it's just a bunch of images, really.
Yeah.
John C. Reilly kind of like being some sort of king in a kind of gory-looking weird fest. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, that's what I sort of watched that and thought, I don't know what it's about or anything like that, but I kind of really want to watch it.
No, absolutely. It's that film looks very, very interesting to me. Obviously, we've got bigger fish to fry, but okay, Terminator Genisys. Spoiler alert.
It's a trailer.
I haven't seen the trailer, but you might want it. If you really, really don't want to know, then skip the next few minutes. But if that doesn't happen in the first 45 minutes, then what the fuck?
It's a big card to play, isn't it? In the second trailer.
Really? Wow. I mean, I was kind of thinking that, that T-1000 seems a little bit lame, and it almost seems like he's only going to be in that first action sequence when Jai Courtney and Emilia Clarke first meet. It literally looks like he's going to be dispatched, and then Robo Connor's going to rock up.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Robo Connor.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, at least they managed to surprise us with this, considering how generic the rest of it looks. But
yeah.
I would like to have been surprised in the film itself. So I'm assuming it's got more to do, even though, again, you know, you see him say, I'm not a machine, I'm not a man, and it's got that bit later on where he's kind of looks like a Terminator, but with kind of almost like a musculature to him, but silver at the end, and it looks like that might be the climax of the film.
Yeah.
It's a worry. I mean, I wasn't looking forward to the film too much anyway. I'll go and see it because I'll go and see it. But yeah, the marketing for this one's been very, very weird, and I kind of wonder if they've done this because they're thinking we need something that people are going to talk about, not just in terms of how bad this film looks. If we can just deflect from that for a bit.
The strange thing is, I have absolutely no idea when this film's getting released. Like not even a vicinity of when it's getting released. I know everything big, I don't necessarily know the dates, but I know around when to expect it. Terminator Genesis, I don't know whether it's imminent, whether or not it's an August one, a September one, whether or not it's later towards Christmas. I just don't know, because I can't work up the enthusiasm to check.
It's first weekend of July, it's like Independence Day weekend. And I think it might be the same weekend as Minions. At least in the US. And actually, I'm going to have a look. But that spells trouble, I think. Minions is going to be huge. And it's weird to say this, but like Terminator Genesis could almost be counter-programming. Yeah.
It could be to an extent, yeah. I was very much the same as you. Off the first trailer, I was like, do you know what? It doesn't look great. It looks incredibly generic. I think I said to you, it looks incredibly soundstagey. But I was at the same point as you. But all of that, but I'm still going to watch it because it's a Terminator film. Yeah. Now, I'm at the point where I'm going, I'm still going to watch it, but I'm really fucking worried.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's the same day as Magic Mike XXL, apparently, over here.
You see, and I'm a lot more excited about Magic Mike XXL.
I'm a lot more interested in Magic Mike, yeah, for sure. I don't know, man. The thing is, the director doesn't inspire me, the cast doesn't really inspire me. I like Jason Clarke, but he was kind of nothing in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Emilia Clarke, they're just essentially playing off the Game of Thrones kind of thing. Jai Courtney, whatever, he could be somebody else. It's interesting that they barely show Jai Courtney in the marketing.
Yeah.
I can't help but think that's telling as well.
Yeah, he's essentially become Sam Worthington 2.0.
Mm. Yeah, even though, which is weird considering Sam Worthington was in Terminator Salvation, but the character that Jai Courtney plays in this was played by Anton Yelchin in Terminator Salvation. From Anton Yelchin to Jai Courtney, that's something.
It is actually, and I'd never actually thought about it like that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a busy old summer as well. You got Magic Mike that week. Oh, okay. Minions is the week before in the UK. And then you've got Ted 2 the week after. You've got Ant-Man and Pan the week after that. You've got Inside Out the week after that. You've got Mission Impossible the week after that. It's going to be down. These films' success are going to be down to how good the marketing department is at getting it in people's faces, because they've got 1 week this summer and they're done.
Yeah, it is going to be getting. Yeah, essentially, it's going to be how you can make that film be the film that they see that week, and essentially, it's putting a lot of faith in the fact that people will go week after week.
Yeah, that's the thing. People like you and me will, but from Friday 5th of June onwards, you've got Spy, the new film from the guy who directed Bridesmaids and The Heat. That's, the new Melissa McCarthy one. That's going to have a big, that's going to have a big presence. And hey, it's got the Stafe in, so I'm going to go and see it. The week after that, you've got Jurassic World. The week after that, you've got To be fair, actually, the week after that, not too much. You got Entourage, The Longest Ride, Mr. Holmes. Week after that, you've got Minions. Okay, so here we go. Minions. Next week, Magic Mike XXL and Terminator Genisys. The week after that, Ted 2. The week after that, Ant-Man and Pan. The week after that, Inside Out. The week after that, Mission Impossible. The week after that, Fantastic Four. The week after that, Pixels and Man from U.N.C.L.E. and Straight Outta Compton.
Fucking hell.
That is...
Pixels, Straight Outta Compton and Man from U.N.C.L.E. are all the same weekend.
Same week. It's my birthday weekend as well, so I actually might just say to Dom, right, I'm just going to go and do a triple bill, and then we'll have a barbecue, and that's my birthday.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good birthday, that.
Yeah, actually, you know what, because, Pixels I'm actually kind of interested in just because of the plot, but... and also, it's directed by Chris Columbus, which is... At least it's not directed by fucking Frank Karachi or Dennis Duggan or, the guys who always do the Sandler films.
Yeah.
So, Chris Columbus might bring something to it. But that's the thing. So, all these films have got, 1 week. And so far, the buzz on Terminator Genisys, and I am going to keep on calling it that, is just... What the fuck's this? What the fuck's this? Whoa, they just bloody spoiled something huge. That's bad. It just... There's nothing there, and then the week after you got Ted 2. A lot of people really, really, really like Ted.
Yeah, that was one of those strange ones where I was amazed that nearly broke. Did it nearly break? Or did it just break 500 million?
I think it just about did. Yeah.
Yeah, which I wasn't a massive fan of Ted. I thought it was all right. I enjoyed it a lot more the second time I watched it than the first time, but. That film made a lot of money, and the sequel will also make a shit ton.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it's... I don't know, it's interesting. Like you say, they're banking on people going to these 1 week after the other, and that's just not happening. Furious 7, fastest film to ever cross $1 billion worldwide, which is insane. Well done them. But the thing is, it's got no competition. It's the only big film that's come out in the preceding weeks. It's the only big film that's come out for 3 weeks after.
I think part of that is the similar thing to what you've got with Avengers. I think companies have actually gone, we're not going up against that.
Yeah.
No fucking way. We're avoiding that shit.
And instead, these films are just obsessed with opening in that June, July, more like July-August corridor, really. It's like a 2 month from mid-June to mid-July, where they all seem to have to release to mid-August, sorry, where they all seem like they have to release in that corridor. It's like if you stuck Terminator Genisys in March or October, it's not going to have as much competition. The films that would usually come out in March and October are going to steer clear of it, and you'd have a much easier ride. That's, what they've done with Furious 7 is really smart. It's just right, May, June, July, August are all really busy. Let's open the first week of April, get that Easter cash. Nobody else that is thinking of releasing in early April is going to touch us, so we're going to make a shitload of money. Batman vs Superman, we'll talk about the trailer in a bit, but I think that comes out in March. And that's really smart. It kind of feels like it should be a summer blockbuster film, but, you release in March, you've got no one else around, you're probably going to have weeks of no competition, you're going to blow up.
Yeah.
Because originally Batman vs Superman was scheduled for the same day as Captain America Civil War. And then Captain America Civil War announced Iron Man was going to be in it, and then suddenly we need to get the fuck away from that. And now they're going to make more money.
Yeah. It's mad.
It's I don't know, it's so weird. But if these films hit, they will hit huge in the summer. Yeah, they'll hit bigger in the summer than they would in March or October, but there's also a higher chance of them making less than they would if they were released in March or October if they don't connect.
Yeah.
And Terminator Genisys, it's already been shown that Schwarzenegger being in the film doesn't really add that much into its box office.
No, because the people who will go and see a Schwarzenegger film, there aren't enough of them left to make it absolutely successful. And I would say 70% of those who will watch anything Schwarzenegger does will wait happily for it to come out on Blu-ray.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I'm kind of intrigued to see Schwarzenegger back in a Terminator film again. You know, I mean, it's been over a decade now, and Terminator 3 was not his finest hour for that. So, you know, I will go and see it in the cinema. I'll probably double bill it with Magic Mike XXL, which will be a really weird double bill, but I'll do it. And you know, we'll just see what happens. But they're talking about it being the start of a trilogy. It's like, they did that with Terminator Salvation as well, for fuck's sake. It's just, let's just see how this one goes.
Yeah.
And then take it from there. And also, Alan Taylor, I love Game of Thrones. I was excited for him I know he directed films before, but making the leap from Game of Thrones to a big budget film before The Dark World, and that's like the most anodyne fucking Marvel Studios film yet. And it's Terminator Genisys. It just looks more of that, you know, in terms of the look.
Is that his director? The guy who directed Dark World?
Yeah, Alan Taylor. Yeah, he directed For the Dark World. And now he's doing this. Yeah.
For the Dark World was hard work.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'm going to be rewatching it, actually. I think I'm going to watch it tonight, because I'm watching all the Marvel Studios films up to Age of Ultron. And it's the one I'm not looking forward to. It's the one where I'm just like, right, I fucking got to get through this. The rest of them, I'm like, yeah, I'm really up for this. Even Iron Man 2, which gets better every time I watch it. But For the Dark World, it's like, fuck me, I've got to sit through that for 2 hours again. And a lot of that is down to the direction, you know. I mean, like, I like Hiddleston, I like Hemsworth, I like Portman, I like Dennings, all of that. But it's a bad looking film. It's poorly paced.
For the Dark World felt like filler.
Yeah.
It felt like shit. We've not had an Avengers linked movie out for the past 8 months. We better put something in there.
Yeah, exactly. So. Terminator Genisys, whatever, but I'm going to go and see it, and more for me.
I'm exactly the same, so, yeah.
Yeah. Batman vs Superman then, may as well. I mean, it looks far more Zack Snyder than the Man of Steel did. I don't know, it just looks very comic booky. It looks like it's being very dark and brooding and self-serious, and that could go well, or it could go really, really, really wrong. We'll see. I'm not hating the look of it so far, but it's weird that this was the first look we had of it, to be honest.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I liked Man of Steel.
I really like Man of Steel. I
very much like Man of Steel, and I like Zack Snyder's director. I know he doesn't please a lot of people, but I actually quite like him. I've liked pretty much all of his films, to be honest. And I wasn't against. I thought the casting of Ben Affleck as Batman, you know, it was a decent bit of casting. You know, I thought it made sense. And then when I saw that trailer and saw him as Batman, it was like it hit me, and I kind of went, "Oh, hang on a minute, he's Batman."
Yeah.
I like Ben Affleck. I think he's a good actor. I don't think he's a perfectly decent actor. I think he's a better filmmaker than he's an actor, but that's by the by. And it fits, but then it hit me. I thought, I don't know that I'm ready for Batman in a movie again. Yeah. I feel like I do feel a little bit like, because I really, really like the Nolan Batman movies. I watched and thought, oh no, it don't feel right. It feels wrong in some way. For some reason, it just felt wrong.
Jeremy Irons as Alfred as well.
And that's terrible casting.
That feels like such a fucking downgrade from Michael Caine.
It doesn't help by the fact that we all are very well aware, and we all know that Jeremy Irons is a terrible cunt.
Yeah.
Which doesn't help, and Alfred is supposed to be this nice, you know, caring kind of father figure who essentially is, the one thing that keeps Batman's kind of conscience and his level, and he's the one thing that Batman has left of humanity is Alfred. He's almost like the angel on the shoulder and the care and the one he goes to when things go wrong. Yeah. And that's fine, it's the same character, but to know that it's played by somebody like Jeremy Irons, who we all know is a bit of a dickhead, it's that.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel right, and then you're at the point of going, so hang on a minute, it literally is going to be Batman versus Superman, but he's Superman, and I'm starting to go, before I was going, I'm really looking forward to this, yeah, and then the trailer happened, and it wasn't a bad trailer, but I did then start to go, there's so many things that could go wrong here, though.
The Robo Batman with, like, the lit up eyes and the voice of that, I'm not feeling that at all.
Yeah, it all did make me go, I don't know now. Now this feels like I'm going to watch it and go, oh.
It doesn't, I mean, I know this is only a 2-minute teaser, but it doesn't look like it takes place in the same world as Man of Steel.
Yeah, it doesn't, does it?
It looks like Watchmen, which is like really highly stylized.
Yeah, that opening shot of where it's just the city landscape. Yeah, that feels like that opening shot of Watchmen.
Yeah, but now this is supposed to be essentially the sequel to Man of Steel, and apparently it is a Superman film with Batman in it. Which is interesting, but it looks like Man of Steel's almost going to be slightly cast aside, and they're just going to kind of start again. And because obviously this is it feels like this is the first part of the DC cinematic universe, or whatever we're going to refer to it as. Whereas Man of Steel's almost like a side part of it, and that's a shame, and it already feels like this is the wrong direction. It's only a 2-minute teaser, who knows?
Oh yeah, absolutely, but if we're going to talk about it based on that trailer, I've gone from being really excited to a little bit wary, and I don't even think it's a bad trailer, which is really strange.
Yeah, I'm not, I'm very, very up in the air with it, very.
Yeah.
But, we'll see. Star Wars. Yeah, so I really, really, really like the trailer, as it seems like most people did. That first shot where you see the Sandcrawler, not the Sandcrawler, that's the wrong thing, like the Land Speeder, and it's like, it kind of like follows that, and then you kind of see the kind of reveal of the Downstar Destroyer. That's a great shot. I hope there's a lot of kind of like opening up the epicness shots like that. It is almost like a kind of a sense of wonder to that shot, which I hope is repeated. Chewie, we're home. It looks like Harrison Ford actually does slightly care. I don't know whether they just gave him some pop before filming that bit, but who knows? And yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I don't know, this trailer's kind of been talked to death already over the last few days, but what did you think, Mark, as a non-Star Wars fan?
It's strange coming from a non-Star Wars fan, because I've not got that outright emotional connection to it. And not only that, I don't actively dislike the Star Wars films at all. I'm not going to go around saying they're shit or anything like that. They just, they mean nothing to me. And that sounds really trite or anything like that, but it's a little bit, they're not a part of my childhood. They're not a part of my life. They're not something that I'm really looking forward to. But what I will say, I watched it and went, it looks like a Star Wars movie. It looks like a Star Wars movie, and I just kind of, I'm very happy to sit back at it and go, do you know what? I'm glad that everybody seems to think that it looks like they're going to get, let's fucking be honest, that they're going to get the continuation of Star Wars movies that they deserve, that they thought they were getting 15 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically the thing that people have been waiting 20 years for, even with the prequels actually existing.
Exactly, and I'm not going to be a dickhead and sit here and go, well, I don't give a shit. I think it looks pretty silly. I don't. I'm not really pumped to watch them, but I will happily go with. Cause I know Becky really wants to go and see it. Isabel probably want to go and see it, so I'll happily go with them, and I hope I really enjoy it. But I just don't. I'm not going to get that tingly feeling that other people get, because I'm not going to look at it and go, "That's the blah and that's the blah and that's what that is." And I wonder these, because I don't know the universe as well as many others.
You got to love that Oscar Isaac's character is called Poe Dameron.
Poe Dameron.
Poe Dameron.
Poe Dameron.
Poe Dameron.
Sounds like too many other things. But I would love to have that kind of the kind of enthusiasm that people are getting off it, and it's a nice energy. But I just don't have it. But I really don't want to be one of those people who's going, who then comes out and goes, "Fucking calm down, everyone." I'm one of those people who goes, "You can all enjoy that, and you can really look forward to it, and I'm very happy for you all." But I just don't get it.
It was just nice that for an hour Twitter was positive. It's like the first hour in 3 years that Twitter has been positive.
That's it. And my thing is, what I really, really fucking hope is that it's brilliant. Not for me, because frankly I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But what I really don't want is the day after it's released, whether or not it's released all across all. I would hope that it's going to be released simultaneously everywhere, but I doubt it. But I would really fucking hope that the day after that, it's a universally positive. Everyone going, do you know what? That was great. It was like a big fucking warm hug, and like seeing an old friend again. And I really hope that is the thing, and that I can sit here and go, I enjoyed it, it was nice to watch, everything like that. But most of all, I really, like you say, the positivity was nice, and the fact that everyone seems really on board with it, and there's so much good faith towards it, that it's a really nice thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just not my thing.
No, I think that's absolutely fair enough, dude. I think that's an absolute okay position to take.
Good, because I was thinking, I don't want to comment on it at all on Twitter or anything like that, because I don't want to go, it looks alright, because then I get people going, oh, what the fuck, it looks a bit, oh no, please stop.
No, I get what you mean.
What else have we had then?
I think I'm done, actually.
Because we had the Ant-Man one as well, didn't we?
Oh shit, yeah, okay.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think it looks fun enough. The Thomas the Tank Engine bit at the end I thought was great.
Who's this aimed at? Is it going to be more of a Marvel, slightly for families rather than fanboys?
Yeah, to be fair, I kind of almost think Guardians of the Galaxy did that though. It was quite bright and colourful, even though it did have very for kind of adults jokes. It had that kind of kiddie sensibility to it as well. Yeah, I agree. I think this is the most obviously kiddie aimed one maybe ever, actually. But it also kind of feels like it's a bit of a one-off. Like, it doesn't feel like they've got too many plans with Ant-Man post this film. But
do you reckon it's a bit of an excitement movie? They got a little bit caught up in all of the excitement of how well everything was doing, and they literally just went, we can do anything.
Well, they've been on this for years. I mean, Edgar Wright and Joe Cornish, they first wrote it, back in the late noughties. They were talking about this around when Iron Man 1 came out. So, yeah, this has been in development a while. I mean, the thing is, I think if Edgar Wright had left the project 6 months beforehand, I don't think we would have even got this film. But the cast was signed, And I mean, Adam McKay came in and did a very quick rewrite on the film, and so I don't know, it's going to be weird. It kind of feels like the Marvel Studios film where they'll be alright with it if it just makes 400 million worldwide. Like, they'll be okay with that, and then they can just maybe move on and kind of brush it under the carpet.
Yeah, one of those where if it happens to be great and it catches a little bit of a crest of a wave and it ends up making, more than they're expecting, we might get an Ant-Man 2 or we might see a continuation. But they'll be happy if it just kind of breaks even.
What do you think of it?
If tonally and everything like that, it's going to be aimed at a more younger audience, I'm actually quite for it.
I think it will, man.
If it's going to be like that, but it tries to have the same kind of oeuvre or films like, even sort of things like Thor or the Iron Man movies, then I'll be a little bit like, hang on a minute, but it's about a guy who can shrink and still has really high. Okay, no. Just no.
It looks like Tom's going to be fairly in cheek, though. I mean, you had that bit.
That's it, yeah.
With Paul Rudd saying, "Oh, my days of breaking into places and stealing stuff are over," and then Michael Douglas is just like, "I want you to break into places and steal stuff." It was like I don't know. There's a kind of a goofy, charming kind of sensibility to that, which I quite enjoy, and I think Peyton Reed is a director who could kind of bring that out. It's going to be interesting to see how he deals with action, even though I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of that was kind of already storyboarded.
Second unit, yeah.
So, and also just I think that kind of stuff might have already been kind of figured out anyway. He just had to point and shoot.
Yeah, you get the feeling there's a lot of second unit work.
Yeah,
done there. One thing I don't like, the fact that they actively reference the fact that it's a bit of a silly name in the trailer.
Yeah.
That was a little bit like, oh, fucking come on. Have you got that little confidence in your own film's name?
Well, I mean, I think maybe they're doing it just so, they're just acknowledging it so that other people don't constantly go on about it. Yeah,
I felt a little bit, you didn't need to do that. Other than that, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I watched trailer-wise. I don't think there wasn't. That was been there quite a few, actually, for us, to be honest. No, nothing else. Cool, right. So, Ian, do you want to throw some kind of what you've been watching? Because we've been a couple of weeks, haven't we? So, rather than just doing a 101 you, let's just throw a load of what I've been watching at people.
Yeah, sure. I suppose I'll just cover off the films I watched since I watched Police Academy 2. I suppose that makes sense. So I watched the original Toy Story. I'm going to start going back through the Pixar films. Sorry, I'm just going to eat this last bit of chicken, then I'm done, I promise.
Fair enough. There you go. What kind of chicken is it?
What kind?
Is it like what you said it was pasta? What kind of pasta sauce have you gone for?
Oh, I just made one.
Ah, nice.
I stuck some chicken in and some penne and some mushroom and peppers and onions and some stock and job done with some tomato. Good.
Sweet.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm done now. So
cool.
So Toy Story. I'm going back through the Pixar films in the run up to Inside Out, even though I think I'm going to skip A Bug's Life because I only watched that for the first time last year, and I don't feel like I really need to watch that film again anytime soon. But I got the Disney Pixar Collection Blu-ray set with all their films up to Monsters University and the 2 volumes of short films. Got for £50 from Zavvi just before Christmas.
That is a bargain. I'll get that.
£50. Oh, it was just insane. It comes in this really nice little toy box thing, which Lottie took about 20 seconds to damage the top of, which I wasn't thrilled with, I must say, but it is what it is. It's hers as well. That's the stupid thing. If she had the wherewithal to realise when she was 0 years old that it was hers, then, maybe she'd have something she'd enjoy in later years, but never mind. What a dick. Anyway. Toy Story. It looks like shit, if we're being honest, like now.
Does it? I would say I haven't watched Toy Story since... Christ. When did it come out? 95?
Yeah.
So, probably 97, maybe?
It looks like shit.
Does it?
Yeah, it looks really bad. I know some people might think that's unfair and whatnot. And it is kind of unfair, but at the same time, they were very sensible in the fact that they chose, like, toys. There's not much detail on them or anything like that, but anytime there's a dog on screen or any of the humans, they just look so wrong. So wrong. And just like all the walls and stuff, there's like no detail to them. It just, you look at Toy Story and then Toy Story 3 and it's like the leap between like the first episode of The Simpsons, or the Simpsons sections on the Tracy Ullman Show, and then the Simpsons movie. It's with the times, and it's absolutely fair enough. But it just looks really fucking bad. The film itself, it was in that time where Disney had to have musical numbers through their films.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty much the only Pixar film that ever really did that. Like, Toy Story 2 is that, When She Loved Me song, that Jessie sings, there's a montage of Jessie, even though that, actually is quite moving and upsetting, frankly. Whereas here, you've just got Randy Newman doing his usual Randy Newman thing. And it's just minutes wasted.
Yeah, it's filler.
There's this, the fucking bit where Buzz Lightyear realises he can't fly, and it's literally, Randy Newman is almost narrating the action. That's his song. He's like, and now, I'm gonna go on top of the stairs, and I'm gonna run down and jump. Oh, I fell over. And that's basically what it is for like 2 or 3 minutes, and the film's short anyway. It's
how long is Toy Story? Because in my mind, I was just thinking then, maybe I should go back and rewatch Toy Story, and then in my mind I was like, but it's so long. No, it's such a long film, but it's not, is it?
I'd say it's like before credits, you're looking at maybe an hour and a quarter tops.
Shit, actually, no, that short.
Do you know what? I think the film itself, is actually like 78 minutes long. I'm going to have to look this up now, but I swear it's 70-something minutes long.
That's I remember, actually, funny enough, while you're looking that up, I remember Toy Story came out on a Friday, and we had a teacher training day from school.
81 minutes.
And was it 81 minutes? I remember walking to the cinema to see Toy Story, on this teacher training day we had, and getting stopped by the police who didn't believe who thought I was just not at school and had skipped school. And I had to tell them that I was it, and I got getting stopped at the side of the street while they checked to see if I was actually lying or not, or whether or not I was actually on a teacher training day.
Nice. Oh man, that was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
But it's still, it is genuinely funny. I've never noticed before. There's one point where Woody calls him Buzz Lightyear, which I thought was pretty good. It's a little moment, and I like it. But I don't know. It's fun. It's very, very simple. There are a lot better Pixar films. There are a lot better Pixar films, but it's still a damn sight better than their worst. Toy Story versus Cars 2. Any day of the week, any minute of the day, I'm going to go for Toy Story. So I'm looking forward to going through the rest of them, though, I must say. It's been a while since I watched a lot of these Pixar films, so we'll see. I'll just do one more and I'll shoot it to you for a bit. School of Rock, which I hadn't watched in a good long while, actually, and it's still pretty much Jack Black's probably best overall role, I think.
As a lead role, certainly,
yeah. I mean, I suppose, you can look at like High Fidelity and like the stuff he does in that, I suppose. But with this, I mean, the interesting thing is with like Linklater, lets him go, but he also does interesting things with the camera. Like there's when Dewey's talking about his song, and the kids are like, "Well, what's your song? Let's hear it." He's like, "What?" And he's kind of making it up, and it almost feels like it's a static shot, but it's not. It's actually pulling back all the way, like kind of all the way through it, and you don't really realise it until the end. You're like, "Well, that was pretty cool." You know, you'd imagine someone like Kevin Smith would have just like sat the camera down and been like, "Right, do your thing."
Yeah.
Whereas Linklater, he's actually still in the moment and getting involved, and not saying "look at me, I'm a filmmaker," but just like being actively engaged with the material, not just sorry, excuse me, not just letting Jack Black get on with it. And I mean, it's sorry, getting over a cold. I don't know. It's a lot of fun. Joan Cusack is really solid support. Yet you get that she's kind of this bundle of stress, but that there's somebody likeable underneath it. There's an interesting moment. One of her first scenes is her with this little girl, and she's just like, she's trying to be nice to this little girl, but like, she just can't quite connect, and the little girl's just terrified of her, and she offers her a hug, and then the little girl runs away and screams. I mean, it's just, there's little things like that make the film, and that little bit of business, that feels like something they just came up with on set, not that something that was necessarily scripted. So yeah, it's good, and the ending is nicely euphoric, and it ends slightly unbelievably with the fact that it looks like Dewey gets away with it. The fact that he did all this, but it holds up really well. I mean, I'm not going to say it's a classic, but
well, the only thing, because somebody put that to Linklater once in a Q&A. And asked him about it and said, he kind of gets away with it. And he says, well, no, the idea that we saw it as was that he did community service, and part of the community service he did was teaching kids music. And then that's how he ended up running the music school.
Well, in the film itself, it just feels like he sets up a music school.
Exactly, yeah.
There's no hint of that whatsoever. They could tell themselves that, but if it's not in the fucking film...
But the follow-up to that was somebody sort of said essentially the same thing that we've just said there, and Linklater's response to that was, "You do know it's not real, right?" Which just completely just shot his down. But I agree with your point.
Well, why did you bother responding then?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, of course I know it's not real, but I've just critiqued your answer. And now you're basically telling me, "Oh, fuck off." Yeah. I'd have been pissed off if he'd given me that answer.
Yeah, but that's just the kind of character Linklater can be, isn't it?
No, don't get me wrong. I mean, like, he probably just thought it was quite a funny retort, which in a way it is. But I don't know. It just like you're telling this story. If you mean to put something in a film and you know what the answer is and you're not putting it in there, why are you not putting it in there? I don't know.
I think that was something that was added towards the end with one eye on a sequel.
Yeah, well, that's true. It's very separate from the rest of the film because it's basically playing out over the credits, isn't it? Yeah,
I think that was. It was very much like you say. I think that was right. Let's do this. One eye on a sequel. He's got a music school, and they can now enter all these competitions.
That would have been interesting. I mean, it was. The thing is, it was a bit of a hit, wasn't it?
It did really well at School of Rock in comparison to what they expected it to do. Yeah, certainly.
It did $80 million in the US. Did £10 million. That's really not too shabby, especially 11 years ago. 131 million worldwide off of a 35 million budget. That's what, like over 3.5 times. That's good, man.
That's real, and the soundtrack I think made a fortune as well.
Oh god, yeah. I mean, the actual School of Rock song, I remember that was like played on MTV and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think it ended up not just, Linklater was never likely to want to go for the sequel in that. Black kind of burnt out a little bit, didn't he? Let's be honest. He had that thing where he was very big around that time, and then he ended up doing the Tenacious D movie, which didn't quite work out as well as they expected, and I think he ran out of steam a little bit. And decided, right, do I start doing sequels and movies that I wouldn't have done 4 or 5 years ago, or do I just sort of take a step back?
Yeah.
And I think he seemed happy just to take a step back.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But, School of Rock is on that. Actually, no, I bought it on iTunes for like $3.99 when it was a film of the week a while back. So,
That's not bad.
Yeah, no, I was just like, I'll kind of get into my digital dilemma later on when I talk about something else, but, I'm thinking now, if I just see films on iTunes that are like £4, £5, don't have them, they're in HD, I think, I'd probably watch that a couple times. Then I'll buy them on iTunes, otherwise iTunes can kind of get fucked at the moment, but we'll get into that. So, Mark, let's have a couple of yours, bud.
Okay, I'll start mine with a film that you really, really liked. The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Oh, yeah.
So I was a little bit kind of nonplussed about it, and then, you were very positive about it. So it was a really nice movie and everything like that. So
I actually don't think I know what you think about this, but what I would say is the opening half hour or so, I was a little bit like, how many fucking dream sequences is he going to have? But then as soon as he actually starts on his main mission, I was in. The fucking Ground Control to Major Tom. Why am I not thinking the name of the song?
Space Oddity.
Space Oddity. Fuck me. That section on, I was in really hard with this film. I'm sorry.
No, not at all. Right, my thoughts on it essentially were it was very quickly losing any kind of good feeling I had towards it, or any sort of positivity I had towards it in like the first 40 minutes, because it felt like it was bitty and all over the place, and I was very much like, seriously, how many fucking dream sequences do we need to have?
Really though, it is, isn't it? It's just like after like the third one, it's like, we get the point, get on with it.
We get the point, he has daydreams. Do fucking something else. Yeah. Seriously. Yeah. But, and this is genuinely what I was going to say, it's not a reaction to what you were saying, but from the moment where he goes on an actual, not a daydream, it brightens up, and it starts to be a real nice adventure. And it really feels like, it feels very similar in kind of that way of when you're watching it, you get caught up in it. In the same way that something like Forrest Gump does. You just kind of get caught up in it. And I've always found Ben Stiller an actor who is really hard to get behind. I don't know why, but I find him quite off-putting. But for the first 40 minutes of this, I was very put off by him.
It kind of seems like he should be a nerd, Ben Stiller, but he's not. He's a jock, but it's like he's kind of straddling both worlds. But
I always get the feeling with Ben Stiller, he should be a bit of a nerd, but he's got to where he's got, not through necessarily having a lot of talent, even though he is very talented, I'm not being like that, but a lot of it is belief in himself. He's incredibly confident in himself.
Yeah.
And I do think it's that. I don't think Ben Stiller's funny at all. I've never found him funny. But then, towards this, I think it's into the bits where he's going to eventually, he starts getting behind it. I was starting to get behind him. You knew exactly what was going to happen with the film up until that last bit. And I'm not going to give away the last bit, but the whole perfect shot thing. Sean Penn. Once that is revealed what that is, I was a little bit like, almost kind of like felt a little bit kind of choked up of, oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
That works. I was wondering, this has got to be really fucking great for it to have made sense for the rest of the movie. If this isn't, and then I thought, and skip forward like 20 seconds because I'm going to reveal what it is. I thought the picture's going to be of him.
Yeah.
But I didn't think it'd be that nice a looking picture. And that felt brilliantly. And it finished, I thought, that was such a nice film to watch. And I could absolutely forgive the first 40 minutes. And the next time I watch it, because I will watch it again, I'll probably be able to get more out of out of that 40 minutes because I'll know what's coming up. It was a really nice film to watch, and a film where I would find it. I would question anybody who says that they didn't. So say somebody it said I didn't get on with it, but if I said I didn't like it, it was shit, I'd be a little bit like, really, it was shit? Why? It's too nice to be shit.
Yeah,
it looks really nice. It looks
so nice.
Yeah, that shot where you've got Sean Penn and he's waiting for the tiger to come out, and he's just sat there. It looks gorgeous. And there's some great bits, and you do really start to really get behind the character, and any shift where essentially he grows some balls and fucking decides that he's going to chew out Adam Scott works really well. And I've watched a few Adam Scott movies this week actually as well, without actually noticing it. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed it, to be honest, and was very pleasantly surprised. The first 40 minutes, I was at the point where I was like, I'm going to watch the rest of it, but I'm actually half tempted now to just fucking turn it off. I watched it last Sunday, and I watched it. It was last Saturday I watched it, and me and Becky, an entire day we had nothing to do, and Isabel was staying at a friend's, so we were like, right, we're having lunch, and we said, right, we should watch something, I'll eat lunch, yeah. Fuck it, let's give this a go, because it looks like it's the sort of thing you could watch that'll breeze over you, and it is a perfect Saturday afternoon movie.
Yeah, cool.
My next one is, fuck it, I'll fire through a couple that I watched and just give you like a little brief. What is it? I rewatched the 1999 comedy drama Pushing Tin, the John Cusack and Billy Bob Thornton air traffic controlman movie.
I've never seen that. Angelina Jolie in it as well, is it?
Angelina Jolie is in it. It's a strange one. If you like, up to the point of where he went off the boil about 3-4 years ago, Cusack, yeah. If you like John Cusack movies, it's a very entertaining John Cusack movie. It's a little bit too long because it's just shy of 2 hours, and it doesn't feel like it's got 2 hours in it. And it's 99, so there's a lot of like CG done, sort of graphics in it to depict the air traffic control things that now look like shit. But essentially, the idea of the story is you've got John Cusack, who plays Nick Falzone, who calls himself The Zone, because he's like the hotshot fucking king of the roost, of these air traffic controllers. And then Billy Bob Thornton comes in as like this super cool fucking guy, and he brings his own, like fold up wooden chair to sit in, and the headpiece he's got a feather that sticks out of it. And everyone says that he's really fucking good, and there's this big story that's gone round that he's a bit crazy because he once laid underneath a 747 when it was taking off, because, he wanted to feel what air drag felt like and all this shit. And he's got all this, and then turns out he's got this hot 21-year-old wife played by Angelina Jolie, and there's all this stuff going on. And it's a great midweek night movie to watch, but it's an absolute solid 7 out of 10. At no point does it ever become an 8 out of 10, and at a few points it verges on becoming a 6 out of 10, but there's enough there for it to be entertaining. It could just do with being 10-15 minutes short.
Yeah, okay. that sounds alright. Yeah, I'm going to give that a go at some point.
Yeah,
that's one where, like, if it's on Netflix and I'm scrolling through, I'll just be like, oh shit, yeah, I'll stick that on. That's like totally. I need it to be on Netflix. Otherwise, I'll probably never get around to it. But if it is, I'll watch it.
That's it. And the next film I'm just going to quickly talk about it is one of those films. It is. I watched another Billy Bob Thornton one actually, which was actually the precursor to watching the big thing that put Pushing Tin back in my mind. Was I watched A Simple Plan, the Sam Raimi film. Nice. Okay. With Bill Paxton and Billy Bob Thornton. Now, I went through a thing in like the mid to late 90s where I really liked movies that had snow in them.
Yeah, sure.
And I still do. I still really like snow movies. I have my own little ski-exploitation obsession where if a film's got skiing in it, I'll fucking watch it. But I remember going through a phase of buying a lot of VHSs just because these films had snow in them. And A Simple Plan was one of those. And I didn't actually even at the time sort of make the Sam Raimi connection when I bought it. But yeah, Simple Plan, you've got Bill Paxton playing the most kind of everyman you can get, the most average Joe. He's got a out-of-work brother who seems a little bit, it's never quite confirmed, but he's a little bit not quite there, played by Billy Bob Thornton. He goes out to visit his mother's grave, I think it is, every year on New Year's Eve, I think it is, with his brother, and this one year his brother brings along his idiot friend, and then they decide to go for, the dog runs off, and they end up going into the woods to try and find said dog, and from there, second, my computer's gone weird. Yeah. Did you send me a message?
Yeah.
Cool. Bear in mind, I can't view it though.
I've got about 20 minutes left, that's all I'll say.
Alright, cool. That's no problem. Yeah, so it's, he runs off to get the dog and can't fucking get it. But they end up, they find the dog, but they also find 4.4 million in cash, stashed in a plane. And then it's the whole kind of, they end up all eating themselves trying to fucking work out what to do with this cash. Again, it's really entertaining, but it's way too long. This should be
being really long.
Yeah, it's just over 2 hours long. It should be 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Without question, that should be a 90-minute movie. I'll go back to you because you've got a couple more to do, haven't you? And then I'll come back and do the big two that I've got to do.
Okay, I'll spunk through these. So, is that a printer?
No, it's my computer. I think it's trying to play a disc that I've got in.
Yeah, it sounds good. Yeah. Anyway, right.
There we go. It was weird, that.
It was.
Funny enough, it was trying to play Pushing Tin.
Nice. Okay, so a few Marvel films in the Marvel Studios marathon thing I kind of mentioned earlier. Captain America: The First Avenger. I really like Captain America. I really, really like the origin stuff between him and Stanley Tucci. I like how Tommy Lee Jones kind of warms up to him through the film. I like that he is just a character who is honourable and nice and does the right thing. That's kind of all there is to it, but that's kind of all you need, and I enjoy that. The Avengers, I fucking love the Avengers. It's how that film does what it does so well is beyond me. I'm a little bit apprehensive about Age of Ultron, just because the early buzz has been like, it's really, really good, but not like people shouting off the rooftops. So, but maybe that will actually hold me in good stead for Age of Ultron. We'll find out next week. And Iron Man 3, which I love because it's a Shane Black film that happens to be a Marvel Studios film. Does have to do the Marvel Studios thing, and the kind of the final battle's not great, but there's enough Shane Blackisms in there through the course of the film to make it more than worth its while. I watched Drive, which is, I think, my favourite film of this decade so far now. Social Network was previously, but I think Drive just might have toppled it. Every single moment in that film is perfection. So that's about it, really. It gets absolutely everything right at all times.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how good that film is. And Alien. Basically, Donna went out on Friday night, so I was sober on a Friday, and I managed to get Lottie to go to sleep. And I was just like, right, okay, I actually kind of want to watch Aliens, but my OCD was like, you're gonna have to watch Alien. And when I'd been like kind of like selling off my like Blu-rays and stuff, thing I immediately now, well, not immediately, but now regret. I haven't sold off too many, but I put my Prometheus to Alien collection on eBay, and somebody had bought it and then not paid for it. So I had it all like wrapped up and ready to go, and then I was just like, well, fuck, I really want to watch Alien. Oh, sod it, if I have to like wrap it again, never mind. So I stuck Alien on, and I got like 5 minutes into it, and like just the Blu-ray of Alien in DTS 5.1 HD uncompressed audio, and I was just like, why am I even having this internal debate about whether to go digital or not? The answer's so abundantly clear that I should just stick with Blu-rays. So insanely abundantly clear. Just stick with Blu-rays and shut up, Ian, basically. So, yeah, Alien. It just looks so good. The sound design is insane. I watched actually most of it through earphones because I was afraid of waking Lottie up. And that film in earphones is so fucking unsettling. It's untrue.
Well, do you know what's really strange about that? The first time I ever watched Alien was with headphones on.
Oh yeah.
But that was on VHS. It was weird. When you mentioned that, I thought, I watched this. I'll wait till he talks about it on the podcast. And the reason was, we had Alien and Aliens on VHS, but I wasn't allowed to watch Alien for some reason. Well, I was like 10, so probably younger actually. So I wasn't allowed to watch it. So when I watched it once, I watched it downstairs really late on a Saturday night, and I sneakily watched it, but I was that paranoid that my parents had heard me watching it, that I watched it through headphones, sat under my duvet, watching it with headphones in, and with the remote in my hands throughout the entire thing, so that if my parents came in, what I could do really quickly would be, if I heard them, was turn it off and lay down, so it looked like I was asleep.
Nice. But yeah, just the sound design. I mean, it's Alien, for fuck's sake, so I'm done.
Yeah.
There you go, job done.
Cool. Right, I'll fire through the other ones that I watched. Watched a film called Behaving Badly last night. Becky was out, Isabel was in bed, I think. No, it was in a bedroom watching Divergent, because I didn't want to watch Divergent. And I was looking for something that was, I had two criteria. One, it had to be a comedy, and two, it had to be 95 minutes. Because I was walking up to meet Becky from where she was out, and I knew I had just shy of 2 hours. So I thought, right, I'll go for this. Fuck it, if it's shit after 20 minutes, I'll turn it off and watch Match of the Day, was my thing. It's a really fucking bizarre film. It stars Nat Wolff, who is the kid who goes blind in The Fault in Our Stars, and I think he's in the new film adaptation of the guy who wrote Fault in Our Stars, Paper something. Moon,
really?
Which don't feel right, Paper Planes maybe, I don't know, Paper something. And he plays like a teenage kid who's a little bit of a he's a bit of a smart ass. He's very much, you could see, almost like based, the idea would be a modern Ferris Bueller, I think, would be the idea. Which, of course, means that he starts swearing within the first fucking 30 seconds. His mum's an alcoholic, played by Mary Louise Parker. His dad is a serial adulterer and constantly moves out of the family home, and he's played by Carrie Elwes. And he doesn't refer to him as his dad, he refers to him as his mum's sperm donor. His brother is a quite clearly gay, but hasn't told anybody yet, and his sister is a genius who happens to work at a strip club. He runs errands for the strip guy who runs the strip club that his sister works at, who's played by Dylan McDermott, who's played a great sleazy character. He's having an affair with his best friend's mum, who's played by Elizabeth Shue, and he makes a bet with a Lithuanian mobster's son that he can bed the school, kind of like Queen Bee, played by Selena Gomez, in 2 weeks. And then everything just goes fucked up over like these 2 weeks. And people like Gary Busey turns up, and Jason Lee turns up, Heather Graham turns up, Mary Louise Parker turns up as his guardian angel, who just constantly turns up and like steals drugs off him and is dressed incredibly slutty, and he keeps mentioning the fact that she really does look like his mum. It's one of those films where
this is a film I will watch, I will just say.
In no way will I say to anybody, this is a good film. It's not. It's not a good film. But it's 90 minutes long, and I will freely admit to enjoying it a fair amount, to be honest. It was actually quite a lot of fun. It's funny when it's funny. It's mad as fuck. And it's actually... I actually really quite enjoyed it. I'm not going to say it to anybody, go out and watch it, because I don't want the person... I don't want to see people going, what the fuck did you recommend?
Yeah.
Because I'm very well aware of the fact that I like some terrible movies, which we'll come up with in a second. But I actually really quite enjoyed this. Another movie I watched I rewatched The Departed. And I don't understand why The Departed gets such a hard time. It's a fucking great movie.
Yeah.
And it constantly gets kind of labelled with, oh, you know, it's good, but it's a shame that was the movie that Scorsese finally won a Best Director for. It's like, right, alright, yes, it's not as good as Taxi Driver, or Raging Bull, or Goodfellas, or King of Comedy. It's not as good as those movies. But most movies are as good as those movies. The Departed is still a fucking great movie. And it manages to be 2.5 hours long and feel like it's about 100 minutes. It fucking motors through, does that movie. And I'm not going to talk about it too much because, you know, I know we are getting press time with Stalin Stuff about Police 74, but it's a fucking great movie, and people should rewatch that movie to get it out of their heads that... Because I think it's one of those that people have started to think was a bad movie for no reason.
Yeah, no, I don't think The Departed is not a bad film at all. It's really, really great. I don't know, it just... it's unfair, but in the pantheon of Scorsese films it is, and the fact that it was the one who won Scorsese's Best Director Oscar, I think that sets people against it. But it's a perfectly good film, and I think it's a great film, and I think it's better than Infernal Affairs, in all honesty. Yeah,
it is. I would absolutely agree with that. And the other film I finally watched was Hot Tub Time Machine 2. Which, if you want to read my thing of it, I wrote a thing for it for the Film Round website. And yeah, a defense of it. Hot Tub Time Machine 2 is one of those movies where it is absolutely playing to the people who not liked Hot Tub Time Machine, who adored Hot Tub Time Machine. It is a lot of the same jokes repeated over and over again. It is the three characters who are... The jokes come a lot thicker and a lot faster, and it is a lot more just pure fucking joke. And I think part of that is because you've got Rob Corddry, Craig Robinson, and Clark Duke sort of as the central characters leading it through. Now, they're all three predominantly comedic actors. They are comedians. essentially. Whereas before you had John Cusack thrown into that, and it was more about him, and he can do comedy very well, but you wouldn't say he's a comedian actor, would you? Really?
Sure.
Whereas Cordry, Quinn Robinson and Clark Duke are. And then you throw in Adam Scott in there, who is playing just a really nice character. It's quite a lot darker in its humour, but still manages to be quite nice. And there's fucking Craig Robinson, some of his line delivery is just incredible. There's a moment where, let's just say, he catches something. And Rob Corddry responds, how did you do that? And all he does in complete deadpan face is he just goes, I'm really fucking strong. And it fucking killed me. Like, absolutely just fucking dying of laughter. I had to pause the movie. Fucking killed me. I had to take a break. I had to take a 2-3 minute break just to get over how amusing I found that bit. And once it finished, I thought, do you know what? Fuck it. I know most people fucking hate this movie, and I'm not going to try and tell people, I'm not going to try and defend it to people. All I'm going to do is when people say, yeah, but it was shit, is just go, I don't care. I fucking enjoyed it. And I won't watch it anywhere near as much as the first one, but I know that I'm going to watch it again. I know I'll probably watch it again in the next couple of months, because I had a fucking good time watching Time Machine 2. And all the fucking snipey fucking dickheadness about it was just felt a little bit... For instance, and I'm going to go out, fuck it, I'm going to name it. I read Robbie Conlon's review of it, and he put out a tweet which intimated that he kind of liked it.
Yeah.
And then put out a tweet a few seconds later saying, only kidding, it's terrible. And I read the review and thought, you haven't actually even reviewed the movie. And all I could think of was, that is the snipey fucking dickheady reviewing that really pisses me off. That you're fucking paid to review this movie. You went into it already not wanting to even fucking give it a chance because you clearly didn't like the first movie. So, what the fuck? And then it's like people get this kind of nice warm feeling about not liking a movie. And it just makes me think, just please, fuck off.
Yeah. I haven't seen Time Machine 2. I've got a feeling I'm going to be with the majority on this, but good for you.
Yeah, it is one of those ones where I honestly, and this isn't an aggressive thing, I honestly just couldn't give a fuck if other people like it or not, because I really like it. That's my standing point on it.
Fair enough.
Cool, right. I'm going to play a trailer from Police Academy 4, Citizens on Patrol, which might have the fastest review you can ever have for a film.
Those talented graduates are back in Police Academy 4!
I want to welcome all of you to
Citizens on Patrol.
Citizens on Patrol.
The Police Academy has offered to train you citizens.
You just don't think I'm fast enough anymore, do you?
To better protect yourselves.
Do we get to pack heat?
Attention all cars, attention all cars.
Mahoney.
Gee, I love saying that.
Jones. Hightower. Sweetchuck. Zed. And Tackleberry.
Good idea.
From now on, by land.
You have the right to remain silent.
Who's gonna save me?
By sea. Or by air. There's no escaping justice.
Gentlemen, may I see your license and registration, please?
I can blast them out of the sky, sir.
Not yet.
I should give them a warning shot first.
Police Academy 4, Citizens on Patrol.
Now be careful, because a .44 Magnum has quite a kick.
See it in your neighborhood while you still have one.
Okay, that's a trailer for Police Academy 4, Citizens on Patrol. The gang are back, and this time, Commandant Lassard has come up with a great policy. He wants to bring in citizens, give them a little bit of police training, and he wants them to act as, like, on-the-ground patrol people who will spot crime in their neighbourhood, and then will radio in, and the fuzz will come and sort it all out. Ian, Police Academy 4, Citizens on Patrol.
So it's basically the same as the first film, but...
Yes.
They don't...
But slightly different.
But, yeah.
Ever so slightly different.
I mean, you know you're in trouble when it's a film that's 83 minutes long, and what feels like the first 5 minutes is just the Citizens on Patrol song. and fucking Gutenberg and Winslow just driving about. That's brutal. Yeah, I mean, I didn't laugh once. You know, I didn't hate watching the film, but it's so fucking lazy, it's untrue.
It really is.
I mean, Sharon Stone's in it for some reason. She's a reporter.
She doesn't do anything. Yeah, but she doesn't do anything.
No.
At all.
No. You know, you've got Harris, again, has some sort of embarrassing thing in the showers that happened to either him or Mauser in every single one of them. Winslow gets into a fight with some ninjas for some reason.
Why are there ninjas there?
I love that bit, man. Like, literally, like Callahan, the Japanese bloke, I'm sorry, I can't remember his name, and Winslow are just driving around, and then, like, Callahan just points and goes, look, ninjas.
There go the ninjas. And they're terrible ninjas.
Yeah, they are. David Spade's a skateboarder. That's Police Academy 4. David Spade is a skateboarder.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I like, at least with, like, the next one, at least they're going to go somewhere different. I mean, that's kind of all I'm asking at this point. Zed gets a lady. Fine.
The only bits of this movie I really got on with were the Zed bits.
Yeah, you know.
He's great.
It's just him running towards her, but still doing the weird shit with his face. That's good. There's not enough him 3-minute sweet chuck, I'll say that.
No, there isn't. There needs more of that. What I did like was the fact that this is a PG movie with the phrase dickhead, pissants, and Callahan's boobs.
Oh God, when she's in the pool. Yeah, no, absolutely. It just, the thing, it's the same as every single other one, but they've got an old lady in it. And then there's a hot air balloon in like a really weird, why the fuck are they in biplanes bit at the end? You know, that's amazing, man. That whole bit. It starts out with just like people like breaking out of prison. And it ends with, like, one of the prisoners, like, flying a biplane.
But the other bit is, what's his name? Tackleberry jumps out of the plane and leaves Sweet Chuck and Zed in the plane, who then jump out of the plane as well. What happened to that plane? So that plane clearly crashed somewhere.
Yeah, no, fucking hell.
And that was a really, like, old plane as well. Like, not like an old plane, just a rickety old plane like in Con Air. That was an old plane that was like a treasured plane, and just nobody even went, oh, what happened to that plane?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the first one where I think I've got to say, this one's touching cloth. It's too short to just be shit, because it finished and I went, well, that happened.
The thing is, it's a comedy, but I genuinely didn't laugh once. But then again, I didn't hate watching it. I've been touching cloth fair. I think maybe we might genuinely have more to say about Assignment Miami Beach.
Yes, because like you say, it's going in a different direction.
Yeah, you know, but yeah, there you go. I mean, the thing is that genuinely is, and Steve Gutenberg may as well not be in it.
It's more Zed's movie than it is his.
He's barely in it. Really though. I mean, like, he's not in it a lot. A lot of it is Tackleberry or Zed, I mean, Hooks may as well not be in it as well. She has maybe 2 scenes.
There's more Spade than there is, what is it?
Yeah.
Mahoney.
It kind of feels like they were grooming Spade to maybe be in more of them, but is he?
Yeah. Yeah, but it didn't quite work. Right, so that was 4. We do have a couple of questions, which I can quickly run through if you want in. First one is from Tom at Venice Cinematic. How many times have you watched that trailer? 4. I'm on 2.
Okay.
But yeah, I watched it once on my own and once with Becky as well. And Rich Kid says, what are the best / worst films directed by people more famous as actors? I mean, I'll throw a couple out there. I think, A Bronx Tale is a fucking great movie.
That is a good film.
A bad movie is Johnny Depp's directorial debut, the only film he's directed at the time, which starred Marlon Brando, which is called The Brave. That's not a great movie. What else is there? I can't think of. Paul Michael Glaser, who was either Starsky or Hutch in Starsky and Hutch, directed Running Man. Yeah, which is a fucking, is a really fucking entertaining movie. There, obviously, things like Gone Baby Gone, and you could even say The Town. Affleck's done some fucking great movies as a director. I'm trying to think of bad ones. It's it's strange. It's not often you get outright bad films directed by what is it? What was that? Was it the American football one that Clooney did? Leatherheads. That's shit. That's a bad movie. Because Clooney's not actually a bad director. It was just a bad movie.
It was him trying to do Coen Brothers, and it just
yes, absolutely, yeah, it was. What else? I think there's anything else out there that's really good that was directed by what is it? It's one of more famous than actor.
I quite liked Ray Fiennes' Coriolanus.
I've not seen that. Is it worth it?
Yeah, no, it's all right, man. He has a good fight with Gerard Butler in it.
I know there seems to be a lot of kind of push for this Alan Rickman movie. A Little Chaos. I watched the trailer and thought, that looks just terrible.
Apparently it's okay. I think that's kind of about it with that. But
it looks like a type of movie. If it wasn't directed by Alan Rickman, people wouldn't have anywhere near as much kind of good faith towards it.
True. That Thing You Do.
Yeah, a really solid movie, that. Took him a long time to direct something else, and we kind of wish he hadn't, to be honest. But yeah, That Thing You Do was entertaining.
Larry Crown.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Tom Hanks and his scary face.
Man Tai Chi.
Man Tai Chi was, that was really entertaining. There are. That's one where I think I'm going to try and think of more to answer next week. Yeah, so we may come back to that one. Ian,
and also,
is there anything else?
Say Night of the Hunter, because I don't like Night of the Hunter. I just want to say that.
All right. Ian, what are we going to do next week? Is there anything out next week?
Fuck it, I haven't even got time to shit about Avengers.
Avengers, yes, and we'll have the continuation of our Police Academy Marathon. That was episode 106. We hope you enjoyed it, and we shall speak to you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.